Out of all the alternate realities to invade our world, there's one that has most certainly brought hell to core Earth. The radioactive wasteland that spread throughout northern Russia was not just a byproduct of the infernal invaders intruding on our world, but also the disastrous consequences of retaliation against the might of the High Lords. An unholy wilderness stretches out across the motherland, filled with the frenzied monstrosities and scavenging survivors unfortunate enough to still be alive. The only sanctuaries left are the giant megacities that emerged from the desolation that began overflowing with the refugees from damnation. There is a Cosm in the multiverse where the unholy forces of true evil escaped their universe's version of Hades and conquered that Earth. The humans of that society had an evolved technological progression and had advanced to the point where enhanced prosthetics and cybernetic implants were superior to natural capabilities. This fascination with transhumanism eroded the people's spirit, and as the population became more and more mechanized, the people drifted away from their humanity. Cocooning themselves up in their world of decadence and selfishness, the people had turned into a narcissistic and self-involved society obsessed with transcending mortality beyond technology. In this quest to discover immortality, the human race of this universe amalgamated every piece of historical record into databases designed to cross-reference and catalog all of their world's knowledge. It was during this grand analysis that the secrets of the occult were restored and compiled into volumes of forbidden magic that attracted the attention of those wishing to avoid death. The development of the dark arts, combined with society's pursuance of the sciences, manifested an unholy union between magic and technology that evolved into the twisted necromancy known as occult tech. Learning the methods of summoning demons into their plane of existence, the inhabitants of that world began to bargain with the otherworldly entities from beyond, enslaving themselves on the promises of extended existence. The cold, uncaring, and supposedly advanced society was the perfect environment for the demons to grow in power, as the inhabitants of this world were indifferent to whatever acts they had to commit to gain the favor of their demonic mentors. As the population slipped further into debauchery and decadence, the devils of the Inferno, who referred to themselves as Tharkold, led a coup and enslaved the Earth that was so eager to invite them in. There was a brief attempt at resistance by a few remaining human holdouts, but the battles and skirmishes were quickly suppressed by the demons' ever-growing master of technology. The war may have been devastating to humanity, turning their planet into a plundered wasteland, but this desolate landscape had become paradise to the princes of perdition. Freed from their abyss, the most feared and powerful of the demonic rulers discovered a darkness device in the Cosm. Allying himself with the infernal device and using its power, the Elder crowned himself High Lord Cranod of Tharkold, renaming the Cosm after his species as a gesture of dominance and ownership. With his armies of demonic warlords and defeated slaves, he began laying waste to the Cosm and depleting it of its possibilities. Those who would not bow down to their new king were swiftly conquered, and every dissident was hunted down. Having laid waste to their realm, and with their sources stretched thin, Cranod began searching for new worlds to devastate. It was during this undertaking that the Gaunt Man invited Cranod to join in the invasion of Earth. Seeing the wealth of possibilities contained within core Earth, Cranod agreed to bring his demonic reign to our world. Things did not go as planned. The hell that was brought was far more infernal than the High Lord could have imagined. Cranod's target for invasion was Russia, and his point of entry was to be the heart of the capital, Moscow. When he opened his portals and began sending his armies through, Cranod grew suspicious that his invasion had been compromised. His first indications were the readiness of core Earth defenses and their quick response at retaliation, almost as if the Earthlings were expecting him. The second and more obvious complication was the sudden slave revolt. The unexpected rebellion of his chattel turning on their demon rulers enraged the High Lord, and he ordered that these matters be dealt with. Jezrael, Cranod's most loyal thrall, his most obedient human servant, took advantage of the chaos to crush the uprising herself and extinguish any resistance to her master's plans. This act of brutality surpassed even the cruelty of her demonic superiors, and her notoriety for doing what the other Infernals could not achieve earned her a place in the ranks of the demonic hierarchy that no human ever dared to accomplish before. Although the insurrection had been dealt with, it was still a devastating blow to Tharkold's invasion plans. It was more than just damaging casualties that concerned the High Lord, but the unexpected escalation of psionic manipulation that had been the root cause of both his obstacles. The Russians were prepared because of their clairvoyance, and Tharkold's own peons received a surge of psychic energy that inspired them to resist their owners. As the High Lord began to get control of his unforeseen problem, the final blow to his now jeopardized assault was struck. Unprepared for the lengths the Russians would go through to defend their homeland, the scorched earth policies of history were relived as the government launched a nuclear strike at the base of the Tharkold Maelstrom Bridge. The devastation that followed from the resulting fallout brought a hell to earth even more agonizing and unforgiving than the Tharkold Cosm itself. The reality-shifting nuclear fallout encompassed northern Russia from Estonia to Yara and from Moscow to the Barents Sea. The uncontained reality storms rained fire and metal across the landscape, wreaking havoc upon the Earth. Anything not killed by the radiation and debris was mutated into amalgamations of biology and technology, creating devils from neither world. Unfortunate humans who were caught up in the tempest did whatever they could to survive in this inferno, while many transformed into slaves for the incoming demonic rulers. It is rumored that there are even some who are as wicked as the invaders that become Tharkoldu themselves when this change happens. By the time Kranod had dropped a second bridge and secured a hold around Moscow, the devastation was uncontainable. The realm solidified itself south of the radiated wasteland and transformed areas within his territory into twisted black metal fortresses to house his armies. While the demons crafted kingdoms, the humans sought refuge and formed their own encampments and hideaways. As these communities formed, deserting slaves known as the Race came seeking asylum from their overlords or escaped to form their own sanctuaries and strongholds. Without the security of a retreat, the wilderness of Tharkold is an unforgiving terrain. Techno-demons and their cybernetic and robotic creations are on constant patrol for captives and victims. The cyber-demons have also created various machines of destruction to aid in their hunt for flesh. Earth-shaking gargantuan tanks, massive slave transports, hovering drones, and precision aircraft strike fear into anyone that senses the constant rumble or hissing of the metallic menace's arrival. Survival in this domain is nasty and cruel, providing a utopia for the unrepentant. The techno-demons may be the true lords of the realm, but the atmosphere of the harsh and dangerous environment breeds sadists and masochists aplenty. The humans of this wretched, tormented realm can be just as dangerous as the invaders from the abyss. From the psychopaths that form cults of worship to the murderous, scavenging marauders, the holocaust of the invasion has bestowed core Earth with the torturous reality of Tharkold's harsh existence mixed with the irradiating consequences of our attempts to strike back against it. Hierarchy is more than just a societal construct among the fiends of the underworld, and it is not something that is merely mimicked by the humans that are left alive. The true power of Tharkold lies in the world laws that the demons have integrated into their reality. The law of domination is one of the key tenets that enforce a caste system between the strong and the weak. One is either a master or a slave within the confines of Tharkold, and these rules are instantly satisfied whenever anyone interacts with another. To be powerful and commanding, one must be able to display it, and intimidating others is more than just an act of survival, but a means to take what you want. Whenever a moment arises to exert one's presence over another, the law of domination allows the aggressor to expand their options and destiny. The cruel and punishing ways of domination invigorate the law of ferocity. It is this dictate that ensures not just the dominant are merciless and ravenous, but all who dwell in the domain are ruthless and barbarous as well. Human and demon alike aspire for supremacy, and will go to any lengths to display their bloodthirsty atrocities for others to marvel in fear. While within Tharkold, everyone is brutal and savage, for any notion of kindness or sympathy is a weakness to be taken advantage of. Goodness and decency are hazardous in this realm, and these disadvantages only one make vulnerable to exploitation. Ferociously dominating others inspires the law of pain to manifest within all things in the Tharkold reality. To lord over others effectively and unquestionably, one must not be indifferent to the agony they inflict on others, but to rejoice in its application. Hurting others is not just a means to exert one's torment over another, but a rejuvenating validation that invigorates the abuser. The energy transferred through infliction can aid in the recovery of harm done, not just by the denizens of the realm, but the torturous damage inflicted by cybernetic augmentation. Pain is more than just an action committed upon others, it is a way of life for most residents. Cybernetic integration with flesh produces constant afflictions upon the wearer, and much of the tech is powered by the energy inflicted through injury. The axioms of the techno-demons are most recognizable by its obvious butchering and brutal cybernetic integrations. Implants are not applied in sanitary conditions, and most installations are hastily grafted to the body. The technology may be advanced, but it is also dirty and diverse, as amalgamations of salvaged parts from the wasteland create unique combinations of monstrosities and curiosities. The social hierarchy installed by the demonic orders has such absolute authority that defiance of the system is a minimal threat. There is absolute cooperation among the abyssal fugitives, and the world laws secure their chain of command. This structure has eradicated free will among the lowly race, and spiritual fancies are heresy to the hellspawn who take pleasure in making one renounce such delusions. Even more dangerous than daring to think of morality or higher consciousness is any evidence of magical capabilities. While not as powerful as the Nile Empire's capability, Tharkold is still more powerful with magical attunement than core Earth. This is more of a detriment than a benefit, though, since techno-demons abhor the use of magic by anyone other than themselves and can sense when it's used nearby. To even consider learning the ways of the occult is to court death or eternal torment. Once Tharkold had solidified its territory on core Earth, the techno-demons made a bold and unexpected gesture. Under the hierarchical laws of infernal society, the mortal responsible for the destruction of the first Maelstrom Bridge and killing the demonic Duke was to be given the destroyed Overlord's dominion. This devilish contract forced Russian authorities into an alliance with the invaders as power grabs by numerous authorities sought to fill the vacuum. With portions of the Russian authorities now integrated into the diabolical echelons of Tharkold, the term demon became forbidden, and core Earth's new masters would be called by their chosen name of Tharkoldu. To become a Storm Knight from Tharkold is to be a refugee and a survivor. Heroes are not tolerated among the rulers from the void. Any form of sedition or treason of their ways is swiftly snuffed out in one way or another. Deserters from the Cosm are hunted down and extinguished without prejudice. It takes a special breed to escape damnation, and the risk of being discovered haunts every move you make. The transformed within the realm are not much different from their race counterparts. Some become imbued with the knowledge of the occult, others become infused with mangling and scarring cybernetics that dehumanize a person into a machine-like cyborg. There are even those who are infused with both these possibilities and can master the advantages of occult tech. There is also the new breed of psionics, who have miraculously and unexpectedly had a resurgence since just before the invasion. This rediscovered ability had previously been rooted out by the techno-demons, but recent developments have caused psychic abilities to appear in numbers not seen before by the High Lords. Among the citizens of the Russian people, there are many dissidents that are uneasy with the techno-demons' relationship to their nation. These freedom fighters use whatever means at their disposal to retaliate against the Zemo plague and rid our realm of these tormentors. With your anointed abilities, you've decided to use your advantages to defy hell itself and fight back against evil and subjugation. You are one of the few bold and brave enough to represent hope and peace and dare resist the might of the Tharkoldu. The only alternative is to embrace the ways of vileness and vulgarity, and those who give in to that darkness become the demons they so eagerly sought to oppose.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!